let me put that to Mr. Sharad Pradhan. The answer you're getting there is that wonderful English cliche, I'll cross the bridge when I come, forgetting that he's in fact heading towards that bridge at the speed of a rocket, but he still doesn't seem to want to see it. Is it an acceptable response today, both technically and morally, for the Samajwadi Party not to say whether they support or criticize, and simply to say we leave it till the Election Commission decides? Is that not passing the buck?
No, that is a very diplomatic reply, and in Mr. Jaitley's position, I can understand, because politically he is not in a position to say whether any action could be taken or not, knowing Mr. Azam Khan's clout in the party and knowing his, the kind of clout that he enjoys, nobody else does in the party. So nobody would dare to even suggest that any drastic step could be taken against him.
Okay.
And I'm sure, Ms. Thapar, what he did was to address, because he was trying to run down General VK Singh, who is a BJP candidate from Ghaziabad, and he found this as best idea to convey that it is not just General VK Singh, a Hindu. This is how he looks at it. It is also the Muslims who have done something in Kargil. So he was trying to appeal to the voters there in his own way. And, his insolent ways are known to everybody.
Let me go back to General Malik. General Malik, I want to put 3 quick questions to you. I'm going to ask you for short, sharp answers. First of all, you've heard from Mr. Jaitley that as far as the Samajwadi Party is concerned, they are not going to criticize Mr. Azam Khan. They're going to pass the buck and wait for the Election Commission to pass its judgment. They are not prepared to distance themselves in any shape or form from what Azam Khan said. Does that disappoint you as a former army chief? That they're putting politics ahead of the army?
Yes, it does. It does, because Mr. Azam Khan has shown his mindset. And I don't quite agree with the statement that has been made that it is only to talk against another BJP candidate. What comes out from here is his mindset, which is what is hurting me.
My second question, as a former army chief who has noted that this is something that could be very dangerous to the very integrity of the army, does Azam Khan owe the Indian Army a full apology?
I think so, and more to the martyrs from all religions who died during Kargil war.
And my last question, General Malik, you were hoping that Mulayam Singh Yadav, under whom you served when he was Defence Minister in the late 90s, would speak out. He's chosen to be deliberately silent. In fact, some would say his silence is deafening. Are you disappointed that the former Defence Minister won't speak out?
I expect a Defence Minister to be an extension of the military. And that is why I expect the former Defence Minister to take some action against Mr. Azam Khan's statement.
Now we're joined by Mr. Ajay Shukla, who is the Strategic Affairs Editor of the Business Standard. My apologies, Mr. Shukla, I believe we've had terrible problems trying to get the OB link up, and I apologize for the long time you've been waiting. We have time only really for one question before we end the show. We're talking about Azam Khan's comment. It's been sharply criticized by General Malik, by Sharad Pradhan, but it's been bizarrely defended by Madhukar Jaitley, and in an interview that Azam Khan gave us, he insists on stubbornly standing by what he said. And I want to ask you simply this. Do you believe that the army officers today and the army soldiers will listen to what Mr. Azam Khan has said and be deeply dismayed that politics and expediency is coloring the way politicians are behaving and viewing the army?
Karan, not so long ago I was in the army myself, and I have to say I don't think there will be any surprise at all within the army, amongst the officers, amongst the Jawans, at the way that the politicians are cynically manipulating emotions amongst their constituencies in order to gain narrow electoral interests. They do not expect anything better from the politicians. The army in this country, and increasingly so, has nothing but, I mean, it's a very strong word to use, but it despises politicians. And you're seeing over here a classic example of a former defense minister, a senior Muslim minister, sort of using and whipping up these communal sort of statements in an organization that is completely non-communal. Now, what it actually does is strengthen the BJP. Every time you have a minister like Azam Khan getting up over there and making a statement like that,
True.
you're strengthening the opposite party as well. So you find Mr. Prakash Javadekar very calm and very composed in this show. He's very happy with what is going on too. But this is exactly what the military knows and expects from its politicians.
Let me leave, in a sense, the final comment to you, Mr. Jaitley. Not only have you heard practically every single person on this program roundly criticize Azam Khan, but you've also heard the opinion that Mr. Azam Khan's behavior has proven to many serving and retired officers that politicians are untrustworthy, that they look for small petty advantage at the cost of the deeper interests of the nation. Are you not embarrassed that your senior leader has proven to the country the very worst aspects of politicians? Answer that quickly, and I'll end this particular episode so that people feel you've had the last word.
You see, Karan, again I would like to say that before we comment upon it, it is no point discussing this again and again, that whatever he has said, we have already said we have got the highest regard for the army. Not only me, the whole Samajwadi Party, even the president of the Samajwadi Party, who has himself been the defense minister, done so much with Mr. Malik himself must be knowing how much he has done for the army.
How silent Mulayam Singh is.
You cannot discount all
Mr.
that.
Mulayam Singh has taken some grand stand of principle. His silence is deafening. It's the most shocking thing of this whole episode, that a former defense minister and a man who's taken so much pride in saying he's been defense minister, a man who actually nurtures ambitions of ending up as prime minister in May, is entirely silent. He's put politics and expediency ahead of the Indian army. And I put it to you, and I'm sorry if this sounds emotional, but that's not something that the country would admire. Your silence is deafening. Go ahead, say something, Mr. Jaitley. Or would you rather keep quiet and answer?
Your voice was a little bit cracking in between. Can you repeat your question once more,
No,
please?
I don't think I will, Mr. Jaitley. I think that would be just too convenient. We'll end this particular episode there. Let your silence be symbolic of practically everything you've said on this program today. My thanks to all four of my guests for joining me, and my apologies to Colonel Shukla for the delay in being able to hook him up. At least we had him in the